We're coming to you from our site in the Dominican Republic, where we've been working with the newly formed Marine Innovation Hub in Punta Cana to tackle two of the most important ecological problems that are besetting the marine ecosystems in the Caribbean. The first is long-term impacts of climate change that are causing warming oceans and causing massive amounts of coral bleaching and ultimately coral loss and death. The second is this new problem that's arisen in the last dozen years or so of floating sargassum. This is a brown seaweed that used to live in the Sargasso Sea, but now is spread all the way towards Africa, and large amounts of it wash up on the beaches of the Dominican Republic and other Caribbean countries. Both of these ecological disasters pose major problems for the local economies and for the local ecosystems. Therefore, we're working with the team at the Marine Innovation Hub to try to understand how we can tackle these issues. So Rebecca, you've been a scientific diver for quite a while and you really have a great love for the corals. What have you seen in the last few years that you would say is some of the biggest changes as you go in the water all the time and you study these species?
For me, it has been really devastating, having so much love for the ocean, studying corals, and then seeing in a span of maybe a year, colonies bigger than me dying. For example, Dendrogyra cylindrus was a species that you could see here in Punta Cana, and they looked like underwater castles, and now they're gone. We have only found one colony in the area.
So there's two coral diseases we've been focusing on particularly. One is the stony coral tissue loss disease, which has devastated the region's corals, and the second is Caribbean yellow band disease. Maybe you could give us an idea about how these diseases work and what do you think are potential solutions or ways to be able to deal with the disease in the future?
Yeah. Yes, both diseases are lethal, but each one is quite different. If you look at Caribbean yellow band disease, first, it affects only a very narrow spectrum of hosts, majorly the Ovicelas. So the disease progresses very slowly. It takes like decades to happen, but you can count on that. They are going to die. Stony coral tissue loss disease, on the other hand, is a little bit different because it's more virulent. It affects a wider broad spectrum of hosts. And also, when a colony gets infected, the tissue is going to die pretty soon. Maybe in 1 week or two, you can see whole colonies dying. Big ones like the Dendrogyras that Rebecca was mentioning is heartbreaking.
Shamwari, you were active in the field today doing all this work, and you're going to be going on as a PhD scientist. What do you think is the potential solution to all of this? Is there a way that we can try to mitigate these issues?
Yeah, of course. I mean, in terms of climate change, it not only affects the corals because of rising sea temperatures, but also it makes them more vulnerable to diseases. So we're seeing a bloom in diseases in the Caribbean as well. And that's why monitoring programs are super important, but these are to help after we see the diseases. Like there's nothing we can do beforehand. So that's why investing in all these molecular tools to determine the susceptibility and if corals have diseases prior to showing the signs, because then it's most already too late. That's also super important, and I think something that could be a game changer in coral restoration.
Great. So I wanted to sort of end by asking the next generation of scientists. So we have the wonderful next generation. We have a lot of dark news. We have, climate change, but there's action towards having more renewable energy sources. Lots of things are happening. So I know that both of you are very sort of committed to education and outreach. What do you think is a role of really teaching this next generation from children to people your age about the sort of stuff, research that's going on here that could prove to be actually, fundamental to the future of coral reefs and whole ecosystem health in the Caribbean?
We have an education program, and so we've been working with schools from all over the country. We bring them here and we teach them about mangroves, seagrasses, coral reefs. And I think what's important is to teach the younger generations, to teach them about the ocean. You can't love what you don't know and what they don't understand. So I think that's one of the biggest challenges we have, is to bring the love of the ocean to the wider public and the country.
If the Ministry of Education starts with a program that everyone, public schools, get involved, then there's more learning desire to know what's going on and get involved. And our work that we're doing here is kind of like that small hope of things that you can do that make everything a little bit better, kind of like that light with all this darkness.
Sure.
So I think it's sharing that information, making it also understandable for everyone here so that they also can get involved and see that marine biology is a field that you can work and it's not something so abstract, it's something that is doable.
Right.